The market is hungry, and we must feed it. Women of the night,
we sacrifice, and the market eats. The scream came without warning. One moment, the market was loud. The next moment, everything stopped. A sharp cry tore through the fish section.
My son is dead.
Traders froze, customers turned, baskets dropped. People began to run. At the center of the crowd was Mama Kudi. She lay on the dusty ground, her wrapper half torn, her hands clawing at her hair. Sand clung to her skin as she rolled back and forth, crying like someone whose spirit had been ripped open.
They have taken him,
she screamed.
They warned me and I refused.
Her basket of smoked fish lay overturned beside her. Flies gathered quickly, buzzing loudly, but no one moved to chase them away. Two women tried to hold her down.
Hold her well.
Mama Kudi fought them with surprising strength.
My only son,
she cried again.
He was healthy this morning.
Her voice cracked. Someone shouted from the crowd.
What happened?
Another voice replied quietly.
He collapsed on the road. He didn't even reach school.
Silence fell. Not the normal silence of shock. This one felt heavy. A few steps away, sitting calmly beneath a wooden shed, was Madame Idera, the chairlady of Oluwo Market. She sat with her back straight, her legs crossed neatly. Her dress was spotless, her hair tie sat perfectly in place. She did not stand, she did not rush forward. She only looked at Mama Kudi for a brief moment, then looked away. A woman beside her leaned in and whispered something. Madame Idera nodded once. Nothing more. Across the road, beside a small pepper store, stood Abeni. She had stopped arranging her onions when the scream started. Now she stood motionless, her hands resting on her basket, her heart beating loudly in her chest. She had known Mama Kudi since childhood. Mama Kudi was strong, loud, and fearless, the kind of woman who insulted spirits and laughed. Seeing her broken on the ground felt wrong, very wrong. Abeni noticed something else. No one was crying with Mama Kudi. They were watching her, some with pity, some with fear, some with knowing eyes. She heard whispers drifting through the crowd.
Did she attend? She refused last time. I told her.
Abeni frowned. Attend what? After a while, two men lifted Mama Kudi onto a wooden plank. Her cries had turned weak, hoarse. As they carried her away, her eyes scanned the crowd widely.
They told me!
She shouted one last time.
They warned me!
Then she was gone. And something strange happened. People went back to selling. Fish sellers returned to shouting prices. Buyers resumed bargaining. Money exchanged hands. As if a child had not just died. As if nothing had happened. Abeni felt cold. By afternoon, the market was louder than before. But the laughter sounded forced. Abeni noticed how traders avoided certain stores. How some women whispered and pointed. How fear moved like smoke through the air. Then she saw her. 3 stalls away. A woman she had never seen before. Her tomatoes were fresh, red, shiny and perfect. Customers crowded around her store. I'll take 2 baskets. No, give me 3. The women smiled. The woman smiled softly, collecting money. Abeni narrowed her eyes. She remembered her. She remembered seeing her 3 nights ago. At midnight, walking quietly through the back of the market. As the sun began to set, Abeni started packing her unsold pepper. She had sold almost nothing that day. Her hands trembled as she tied her sack.
Still here?
A voice asked. She turned. It was Kemi, her closest friend in the market.
Yes,
Abeni replied.
Today was slow.
Kemi looked around nervously.
You heard about Mama Kudi? Yes.
Kemi swallowed hard.
She refused the meeting.
Abeni paused.
What meeting?
Kemi hesitated. Then she stepped closer.
The midnight meeting.
She whispered.
The one that brings favor.
Abeni scoffed lightly.
Favor? How?
Kemi didn't smile.
The kind that brings customers,
she said slowly,
but demands payments.
Abeni felt a chill.
Payments? How?
Kemi shook her head.
I don't want to say.
That night, sleep refused to come. Abeni lay awake staring at the ceiling. Mama Kudi's scream played in her head. The tomatoes, the whispers. Madam Idera's calm face. At exactly 12:07 a.m., she heard footsteps, soft, careful. She rose quietly and peeped through her window. Her breath caught. Women, market women, more than 10 of them, all dressed in dark robe, walking silently toward the market. At the front was Mama Idera. In her hand was a small calabash. Abeni's heart pounded. Without thinking, she dressed up and followed them from a distance. They entered the market through the old back entrance, the gate that had been locked for years. Inside, the market felt different. The air was heavy. The ground felt damp. The silence was alive. They stood near an abandoned store. Madam Idera placed the calabash on the ground. She opened it. Inside was a small red cloth, wet, fresh. Abeni's knees weakened. Madam Idera spoke calmly.
The market is hungry,
She said.
and it must eat.
Then she turned slowly. Her eyes met Abeni's.
Since you are here,
Madam Idera said.
step forward.
The women turned. They began walking toward her. Abeni tried to run. Her legs refused. Abeni's throat went dry. The women were close now, too close. Their footsteps were slow, deliberate, as if the ground itself was guiding them. None of them spoke. None of them rushed. Their eyes stayed fixed on her like hunters who already knew their prey could not escape. Abeni tried to scream. No sound came out. Madam Idera stopped barely a step away from her. Up close, her face looked older. The lines around her eyes were deeper. Her pupils looked darker than normal, as if the night had sunk into them.
You followed us.
Madam Idera said calmly. Abeni shook her head weakly.
I was just passing.
She whispered. Madam Idera tilted her head slightly.
At midnight?
She asked.
In an abandoned market?
No one laughed. The silence pressed harder. One of the women stepped forward, a tall woman with a scar running down her cheek.
She has seen too much,
The woman said. Another replied.
Then she must choose.
Abeni's heart slammed against her chest.
Choose what?
She asked, her voice trembling. Madam Idera bent slowly and picked up the red cloth from the calabash. It dripped. Abeni's stomach twisted violently.
The market feeds,
Madam Idera said.
and those who profit must also feed it.
She held the cloth higher. Every blessing has a cost. The women began to form a circle. Abeni was now trapped in the middle. Her legs buckled, and she dropped to her knees.
Please,
She cried.
I don't want anything. I just sell pepper. I don't want favor. I don't want riches.
Madam Idera looked at her quietly.
That is what Mama Kudi said.
She replied. The words hit Abeni like a slap.
She refused,
Madam Idera continued.
and the market collected its debts elsewhere.
Abeni's breath caught.
You mean her son?
Madam Idera said nothing. She only lowered the red cloth back into the calabash. A woman began to chant softly, low, rhythmic and ancient. The ground beneath Abeni's knees felt colder. Images began to flash in her mind. Crowded stores, customers fighting to buy her pepper, money filling her tray, people calling her name. Then suddenly a coffin, small, wooden. Her chest tightened painfully.
Stop!
Abeni cried.
Stop it!
The chanting ceased. Madam Idera crouched in front of her.
The market offers three paths.
She said quietly. She raised one finger.
The first, you accept the covenants, you will prosper, but the market will choose what it eats.
She raised a second finger.
The second, you refuse, you remain poor, but you walk freely.
She raised a third finger.
The third,
She paused.
the market takes you.
Abeni shook uncontrollably.
What does that mean?
She asked. Madam Idera stood up.
It means
She said.
you disappear.
Abeni sobbed. She thought of her mother, her younger brother, her empty store, her slow sales. She also thought of Mama Kudi's scream.
I need time.
She whispered. The women murmured among themselves. Madam Idera shook her head.
The market does not wait,
She said. Then she added softly.
but it observes.
She turned and began to walk away. The women followed. Just before leaving, Madam Idera stopped and looked back.
You have 3 days.
She said.
On the 4th, The market will decide for you.
By morning, Abeni was burning with fever. Her body ached as if she had been beaten. She dragged herself to the market anyway. Fear followed her like a shadow. As she arranged her peppers, something strange happened. A woman stopped, then another, then another. Customers gathered. They bought everything within an hour. Her tray was empty. Abeni stood frozen. This has never happened before. Her heart raced.
No,
She whispered to herself.
no, no, no.
Across the market, she saw Madame Idera watching her and smiling. By afternoon, Abeni had made more money than she usually made in a week. Her hands shook as she counted it. Kemi rushed to her store.
Abeni,
She gasped.
what did you do? I didn't do anything.
Abeni replied. Kemi grabbed her arm tightly.
Be careful.
She whispered urgently.
The market gives fast and collects faster.
Abeni felt the world tilt. She looked down at her money. Her fingers felt cold, very cold. That night, Abeni locked her door and cried. She pushed the money under her bed. She prayed. She begged. She swore she would refuse. But as sleep finally came, a voice whispered in her dream. The market has tested you. The next morning, Abeni woke up to knocking. Urgent and loud. She opened the door. 2 women stood there. Not market women, police women.
Are you Abeni?
One asked.
Yes.
She replied, confused.
You need to come with us, the officer said. There has been a report.
Abeni's heart dropped.
Report of what?
The officer looked at her carefully.
A missing child.
She said.
And your name came up.
Abeni staggered backward. Abeni's ears rang.
A missing child?
She repeated slowly. The policewoman nodded.
Yes.
The words refused to settle in her mind. Missing children were not new in the market, but her name? Her name had never been part of anything like this.
I don't understand.
Abeni said.
I don't have a child. That's why we need you.
The officer replied. Abeni felt her knees weaken. The market was unusually quiet as they walked through it. Stores stood half open. Traders whispered instead of shouting. Eyes followed Abeni as if she was being led to judgment. The meat section was condoned off with yellow tape. Blood stains were still visible on the floor. A woman sat on the ground nearby, rocking back and forth, her wrapper loose, her eyes empty.
That's the mother.
The officer whispered. Abeni's chest tightened. As she passed, the woman suddenly looked up. Their eyes met. The woman screamed.
That's her!
She cried.
That's the girl.
Abeni froze. The market erupted.
She was here yesterday. She made too much money. Since she came back, things have been happening.
Voices collided from all directions. Abeni shook her head widely.
I didn't do anything, I swear.
The police struggled to keep order. Madame Idera appeared from nowhere, calm and collected. She placed a steady hand on the grieving woman's shoulder.
Peace,
she said gently.
Let the truth come out.
She turned to Abeni.
You look unwell,
she said softly. Her eyes held something dangerous. Inside the small police outpost near the market, Abeni sat on a wooden bench, sweating. The air was thick. The officer leaned forward.
Tell us where you were last night.
Abeni swallowed.
In my room,
she said.
I didn't go out. Anyone with you? No.
The officer sighed.
The child was last seen near your store.
Abeni's heart pounded.
That's not possible,
she said.
Children pass there all the time.
The officer stared at her for a long moment. Then she stood.
You will remain here until we conclude,
she said. The door closed. Abeni was alone. The lights flickered. The room grew colder. Abeni hugged herself. Then she heard it. Footsteps, slow, measured. The door opened. Madame Idera stepped inside. The officers were gone.
How did you?
Abeni began. Madame Idera raised a hand.
You are afraid?
She said. Abeni laughed bitterly.
Shouldn't I be?
Madame Idera sat opposite her.
The market has started,
she said quietly. Abeni shook her head.
I didn't agree to anything.
Madame Idera's lips curved into a faint smile.
Agreement is not always spoken,
she said. Abeni stood up.
Take it back,
she said desperately.
Whatever this is, I don't want it.
Madame Idera leaned closer.
The market doesn't take back what it has tested,
she whispered. Abeni's eyes filled with tears.
Then why me?
She cried. Madam Idera's expression hardened.
Because your bloodline is already known to it.
The words sent a chill down Abeni's spine.
What bloodline?
Madam Idera stood.
You should ask your mother,
she said. The door opened again. The officer returned.
You're free to go,
she said abruptly. Abeni looked up in shock.
What about the child? We found nothing linking you directly,
the officer replied.
For now.
Abeni stood slowly. As she stepped outside, Madam Idera's voice followed her. The market has only collected interest. The real debt comes later. At home, Abeni collapsed onto her mat. Her hands trembled. She reached for her phone and dialed her mother's number. It rang and rang. Finally, her mother answered.
Mama?
Abeni whispered.
I need to ask you something.
There was silence.
Mama?
Her mother sighed deeply.
Abeni?
She said slowly.
Why are you asking questions now?
Abeni sat upright.
What do you mean?
Another pause. Then her mother said in a voice Abeni had never heard before.
Because the market never forgets a family it once fed.
A knock hit the door. Hard, urgent. Abeni dropped the phone. The knocking came again.
Mama?
She whispered. The door began to creak open. And outside, standing in the dim corridor, was the missing child, staring straight at her, not blinking. Abeni's heart stopped. The child stood at the doorway, barefoot, dirty, eyes wide open, too open. The hallway light flickered once, then steadied.
Auntie Abeni,
the child said. Her voice was flat and empty. Abeni staggered back.
You're missing,
she whispered.
They are looking for you.
The child tilted her head slowly.
I am not missing,
she replied.
I was brought.
Abeni's throat tightened.
Brought by who?
The child smiled and pointed behind her. The hallway was empty. Abeni slammed the door shut and locked it with shaking hands. Her chest rose and fell violently. When she turned back, the corridor was empty. The child was gone. Abeni screamed. The next morning, the market was buzzing like a disturbed anthill. The missing child's body had been found behind the old green store. No blood, no wounds, just dried. Like something sucked the life out of her. Women wailed, men argued. The police sealed the area, and once again, eyes turned to Abeni.
She was the last one seen with her. I told you something is wrong with that girl. Since she returned, children have been dying.
Abeni stood frozen at her stall. Her ears rang. Then Madam Idera's voice cut through the noise.
Enough!
The market fell silent. Madam Idera walked to the center. Her wrapper trailed the dusty ground.
This debt is not random,
she said calmly.
It is repayments.
Abeni's stomach dropped. That night, Abeni could not sleep. Her mother's words echoed in her head. The market never forgets a family it once fed. She packed a small bag. She needed answers. She needed to go home. The village road was dark and narrow. Crickets chirped loudly. Abeni's childhood home stood quietly under the moonlight. She knocked once, twice. The door opened slowly. Her mother stood there, older and thinner, eyes heavy with secrets.
You came?
Her mother said. Abeni pushed past her.
Tell me everything, Mama,
she demanded.
Now.
They sat on the floor. The kerosene lamp flickered between them. Her mother's hands trembled as she spoke.
Before you were born,
she began,
your grandmother was a trader in that same market.
Abeni listened, her breath shallow.
She was poor.
Her mother continued,
desperate. One night she was invited.
Abeni swallowed.
Invited where? To the market after dark.
Her mother's voice dropped.
They told her the market rewards loyalty,
she said.
But it must be fed.
Abeni's nails dug into her palms.
Fed with what?
Her mother's eyes filled with tears.
Children,
she whispered. Abeni jumped to her feet.
No,
she said.
That's a lie.
Her mother shook her head slowly.
She refused at first, but hunger is louder than conscience.
Abeni felt dizzy.
The debt passed to me,
her mother continued.
But I ran away. I thought distance would save us.
Her voice broke.
But debts don't die.
Abeni staggered backward.
So why me?
She cried.
Why now?
Her mother looked at her with deep regrets.
Because you went back,
she said.
And you prospered.
A loud knock thundered on the door. Both women froze. The door shook. A familiar voice called out. Abeni? Her mother gasped.
No, she whispered. She followed you?
The door creaked open by itself. Madame Idera stepped inside. The lamp went out. Darkness swallowed the room. You should have stayed away, Madame Idera said softly. Abeni backed away.
I didn't agree to this,
she cried. Madame Idera's eyes glowed faintly. Agreement was made generations ago, she replied. Madame Idera stepped closer. The market is hungry again, and this time, it wants blood from the bloodline. Abeni screamed.
What do you want from me?
Madame Idera smiled. A choice. The room shook, the walls groaned. Choose who pays, or the market will choose for you. Silence fell so suddenly it felt violent. Abeni's ears rang as the darkness thickened inside the room. She could feel it pressing against her skin like unseen hands. Choose! Madame Idera repeated. Her voice no longer sounded human. Abeni's mother dropped to her knees.
Please,
she cried.
Take me. I started this. End it with me.
Madame Idera turned slowly. You already escaped your turn, she said. The market does not accept recycled debts. Abeni's chest tightened.
What choice? Tell me clearly.
Madame Idera stretched out her hand. The floor split open. A woven mat rose from the ground, old and dark, soaked with something that smelled like rust and earth. On it were 3 cowrie shells, one white, one black, one cracked in the middle. Blood remembers blood, Madame Idera said. Pick. Abeni stared at the mat. Her hands shook.
What does each one mean?
She asked. Madame Idera smiled thinly. The white is innocence, she said. The black is lineage. The broken one is resistance. Abeni's throat burned.
And the prize?
Madame Idera's eyes flickered. Death, she said calmly. Or worse. Abeni's mother sobbed louder.
Don't do this,
she begged.
Run! Let the market take me.
But the mat slid closer to Abeni's feet. Closer. The ground vibrated. From outside, distant screams rose from the village. Something had started. Abeni knelt. Her fingers hovered over the shells. Her mind raced. The missing child, the dried body, the market women whispering, her grandmother's hunger, her mother's fear. Then she heard a sound. A soft humming, a child's voice. She looked up. The dead girl stood at the corner of the room again. This time she was not smiling.
She chose wrong,
the child said. Abeni's breath caught. Who? She whispered.
My mother,
the child replied.
Now I walk.
Abeni screamed and grabbed the cracked shell. The room exploded with wind. The walls cracked. The mat burned into ashes. Madame Idera staggered back. No! She hissed. That one is forbidden. Abeni clutched the shell tightly.
I chose myself,
she said through tears.
I choose to end this.
The ground shook violently. A loud cry tore through the house, not from the living, not from the dead, from the market itself. The cowrie scattered. The door burst open. The market women who belonged to the group flooded in. Their eyes were white. Their mouths chanted in one voice. Balance must be restored. Madame Idera screamed. The bloodline resists. Abeni's mother collapsed. The dead child screamed. The room spun. Then everything went dark. Abeni woke up in the market square. It was dawn. People stood around her whispering. Her mother lay beside her, breathing and alive. Madame Idera was gone. The grain store behind them had collapsed completely. The elders arrived. They looked afraid. One of them pointed at Abeni.
She broke the circle,
he said. Another shook his head.
No,
he replied.
She delayed it.
Abeni sat up slowly.
What do you mean?
She asked. The elder looked at her with pity.
The market accepts defiance once, then it collects double.
Abeni's heart sank. A market woman screamed suddenly. Everyone turned. A new mat had appeared in the center of the market. Fresh, clean, and this time, 2 names were written on it. One was Abeni's, the other had not been revealed yet. The elders stood around it, arguing in hushed voices.
The second name will appear by nightfall,
one elder said.
And whoever it is will pay.
Abeni stepped forward. No, she said. The crowd turned. Her voice did not shake this time.
This ends today.
People laughed nervously.
You cannot fight the market,
a woman said. Abeni bent down and touched the mat. The moment her fingers made contact, her vision shifted. She saw it all. Her grandmother kneeling at night, the cowries, the chanting women, the first child offered, the wealth that followed. The market was never a place. It was a pact. And pacts survive on fear. Abeni stood up slowly.
This market eats because you feed it,
She said loudly.
you protect it, you fear it.
Madam Idera's voice echoed from nowhere. You think bravery breaks hunger? Abeni turned. Madam Idera stood atop the collapsed green store. No longer human. Her body was thin, twisted, and eyes glowing. I am the market, she hissed. Gasps filled the air. Abeni's mother crawled forward weakly.
It started with us,
She cried.
let it end with us.
Madam Idera laughed. There is no ending. Abeni shook her head. Yes, she said.
There is.
She reached into her bag and pulled out the cracked cowrie shell. The crowd murmured. You were warned! Madam Idera snarled. Abeni raised the shell high.
You said the market remembers blood,
She said.
but you forgot something.
The air grew heavy.
Blood also remembers truth.
Abeni dropped the cowrie onto the mat. It shattered. The ground cracked violently. A loud scream rose from beneath the earth. The mat burst into flames. Names vanished. Madam Idera screamed in terror. No! They must fear me! The women who was chanted collapsed, clutching their heads. The market bell rang violently, then snapped off its rope and crashed to the ground. Then silence followed, deep and final. Madam Idera fell from the green store. When people rushed forward, she was no longer there, only dust. The market's women slowly stood up. Their eyes were normal again, but confused, free. Days passed, no deaths, no whispers, no strange dreams. The market felt lighter. For the first time, children ran freely between stores without fear. The elders gathered again. One bowed his head,
The pact is broken, he
said.
The market is just a market now.
Abeni closed her store. She did not reopen it. Months later, a new sign hung at the market's entrance. No trade after dark. And people obeyed because fear was gone. Abeni left the town. She walked away with her mother, not rich, not powerful, but alive, whole and free. As they crossed the hill, Abeni stopped and looked back once. The wind rustled softly. No voices, no bells, just silence. The market had finally learned something it never knew. Hunger dies when people stop feeding it. Evil does not survive on power alone. It survives because people keep feeding it with fear, silence, and sacrifice. The day will stop obeying darkness, it starves. And when darkness starves, it dies. Hello fam, thank you for watching through to the end of the story. Please consider subscribing to our channel if you are yet to do that. Like and share this video, and until we meet on our next story, bye.